Hi, Analisa Six here with the Sober Curator and the Lady of Leisure to bring you the April 2024 horoscope for the zodiac sign of Sagittarius for sun and rising placements. Hi, Sagittarius. How are you? One of my favorite signs. I'm Sag rising. I always say that because it's my horoscope too. So I don't even know what we're in for. I'm excited. I'm scared. April is going to be one of the probably most turbulent months of the year, astrologically, especially for us fire dominant people. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Mercury retrograde in Aries started today. It's April 1st. Happy April Fool's Day. Sagittarius people are pranksters. We like a good prank. We like to laugh. We like to party and have a good time. And I personally probably would have enjoyed a lot more April Fool's stuff if I had more Sagittarius people in my life. Because I like a good prank, I think people take life too seriously. And I think Sagittarius, while we can be really serious about spirituality and our education and being a know-it-all about things, I think that at the end of the day, we really don't take things that seriously and we really like to laugh. So hopefully those of you pranksters that like April Fool's Day, or at least just like pranking, maybe have something fun happen today. I am planning on just staying inside at home all day because I'm scared of Mercury retrograde and stationing today. I just feel like I don't need, I wouldn't say I'm scared of Mercury retrograde. I'm just like the days that it stations, they say are some of the more complicated days. And since I'm doing everything on my computer anyways, and I'm not supposed to be doing it, I'm like, I'm risking enough by just recording videos today. I don't need to go out in the world. I might take my dog to the park though. Anyways, let's talk about the area that this is hitting in the chart for Sagittarius. So we have a fire trine happening with Aries to Sagittarius. So fire likes fire, and in astrology that creates what's called a trine, which means that it's fast moving energy. So all the fire signs, we're getting hit pretty intensely by this fire energy. We've got the sun in Aries, we've got the North Node in Aries, Chiron in Aries, and then Mercury retrograde starting today at 27 degrees Aries. The area that that's hitting for Sagittarius is the area that Leo traditionally rules. So it's the area that rules self-expression, creativity, our need for attention and validation from others. It also has to do with how we like to be loved, our relationship to romance, things like that. It also is our connection to children and our own inner child. It's also the area of the chart that rules joy, like what brings us joy. This is actually a really positive time for Sagittarius to reflect. Mercury retrogrades are about reflect and review and reassessing. This is a really positive time to reflect on how you're expressing yourself out in the world, but also to yourself and your relationship to creativity and self-expression. I think that out of all of the signs that are going through Mercury retrograde, I think Sagittarius dominant people have it a little easier in the sense that this house has so much to do with what we want to express in ourselves on our own terms. And the Mercury retrograde of the reflect review process is that journey, like, are you expressing yourself in a way that builds confidence and autonomy and identity expression in a way that is positive and empowering? And, are you an artistic person? And if so, like, how are you, exercising those muscles, whether it be, through painting, drawing, writing or music or anything like that. And so this is a really positive time, and even self-expression and how we put ourselves together. I think we forget how much the way we dress is an energetic frequency that we're carrying throughout the day and how we put ourselves together. And an example of that, actually, like, this is very in alignment for me as a Sag rising. So I'd be curious if you want to let me know in the comments if this resonates for you as a Sagittarius dominant. But I got dressed when I first woke up. So I showered last night, put on some clean clothes that were semi-clean. Some of them were not all the way clean. They weren't like days dirty, but it was like I had a top on that I slept in, and I'd worn it the day before. But it's like a bra top. So I'm not like saying I showered and put a dirty top on that was just like dirty, dirty. Anyways, okay. So I'm like judging myself. My Mercury Virgo is judging myself for all of that. But I woke up and I basically just needed to go move my car. It's street sweeping day. And I needed to walk my dog and, have him go potty. So I was like, I'm gonna, go do all this stuff. And I just need to throw on some clothes to go do that. And I don't like to go out in the world when I'm in clothes that I slept in, because I like to keep those clothes for bed. So I didn't want to wear that. So I put on these clothes and, they were mostly clean leggings, all of that. And I go move my car, take my dog for a walk, and I come back and I'm like, I'm gonna, get ready for my day because I already showered last night. My face is clean, my body's clean. All I really need to do is just, put makeup on and get dressed and figure out, what time I want to start recording these videos. And so I did all that, I put makeup on and got dressed in that outfit for the dog walk. And I just didn't feel good in my energetic frequency of what I was wearing. And I don't know why, because it's an outfit that I like, but for some reason it just wasn't hitting. And when I thought about recording the videos, I think I would have looked fine in them, but I was thinking a lot about how it would translate in the videos and my self-expression. And I've been over the last couple of days feeling drawn to this sweater. And my friend Megan bought me this sweater and I've only worn it, I think, one other time. And the one other time that I wore it is a memory that was really good for me that is now really painful for me. But I actually think of my friend when I wear this sweater more than that memory. And her birthday's tomorrow. She's an Aries. And I was like, I really want to wear this sweater that makes me think of Megan. And I've just been feeling really pulled to it. And it's interesting because the only other time I've really worn it was Aries season. So it's a very Aries feeling sweater. But for me at least. But I put this sweater on, I, put on some different leggings, and I just automatically felt better in my energy frequency. And I think that, and I was talking to my mom about it too on the phone, but I think that that's kind of, that's a very fifth house in Leo kind of energy of like the energy frequency of your day, what you wear, how you express yourself. It matters in how you carry yourself in the world. And it also, I don't know, I think men definitely experience this, but women, I think we experience it more than men. And, I can't speak for, trans or non-binary people, but I'm sure that, they have their own, way of relating to this. But when I'm fully done, like I have makeup on and I'm wearing a cute outfit, the way that I get dealt with in the world by everyone, not just men, but by everyone, is night and day compared to when I'm not fully done. And I think as women, we learn that really early on. We learn that there's a certain way that people treat us when we are presenting a certain way. And it's frustrating, because it would be nice if we got dealt with respect in a certain way, regardless of how we presented. But that's just not how people are. It's not how society is. And so I know for me, even one of the things that I've learned about myself is I even deal with myself and carry myself differently in the world when I'm presenting in a certain way. So now, after the last few months of, working through some of the stuff that came up for me in therapy, I'm realizing that there's certain rituals that are really important for me to have with myself. And it influences the way that I express myself in my space. I feel that way about my physical space, my home, the way that my home's decorated. I feel that way about the way I decorate my body with jewelry, tattoos, makeup. And then I feel that way about my clothes. And so the fifth house has a lot to do with creativity and artistic expression in all the ways, whether it's what we draw or paint or write or create musically, but it also goes into how we express ourselves in this way, with how we adorn and how we put ourselves together. So that's a huge theme for Sagittarius during the Mercury retrograde. This is also a time where if you are thinking of rebranding yourself in the work that you do, like if you're self-employed and you're thinking of a rebrand, that could be coming up for you a lot right now as well. So again, reflect, review, reassess. Not necessarily the best time to make big changes though, but you're going to want to, you're going to feel the need and you're going to feel ready to do that. could even be, wanting to change your hair color, things like that. And Venus is going to be playing a role in that starting April 4th and 5th. So Venus is moving into Aries and joining this creative energy pot for most of April. And she comes in and she's like, how are we expressing ourselves? What are we doing creatively? And how are we doing this in a way that's empowering and confidence boosting in the sign of Aries? So that's a big part of the horoscope for Sagittarius too. We start out the month with Venus in Pisces, though. Mars is going to be in Pisces for the entire month of April. And then we also have Saturn and Neptune in Pisces too. And the area that that's hitting for the Sagittarius horoscope is the area that represents home and family. And so Mars passing through the area of home and family could also make things a little bit turbulent with the home. And so not a good time to sell property, not a good time to move. However, it might be happening anyways. And so there might be a lot of turbulence having Mars here. This is a time with Mercury retrograde and Mars in the fourth house where if you are doing any of those things like signing paperwork or contracts around home stuff, you really need to be reading through all of the fine print. Those are things that are really important because there's things that could get missed. Things that could get lost in translation, lack of communication in certain areas. So those are things that you're probably going to have to really be on top of during the month of April. There could be conflict with family members during the month of April too, and how those things are moving forward. April 8th, we're going to have a solar eclipse at 19 degrees Aries that's conjunct the wounded healer planetoid Chiron. This is again happening in that area of the chart, the fifth house, that has to do with self-expression. New moon energy, solar eclipse energy feels cataclysmic. It's like an opening, we're being cracked open into some new territory. Again, this is around self-expression and kind of this, way that we relate to joy and creativity as a Sagittarius. So that's a big theme here. Again, if you're thinking about a rebrand of self, whether it's to yourself or in the work you do, you're going to be feeling a big like oomph around that energy. After that, we have the sun moving into Taurus around the 19th. And the area of the chart that's hitting for Sagittarius is the area that has to do with health and daily routines. And so, you might have kind of felt like through April, it was really hard to get structure in your life. And by the end of April, you're going to really, with the sun moving into Taurus in the sixth house, you're really going to feel like you need to start taking the reins of your life again in a structured way. Like, I need to wake up at this time. I need to take care of my body. I need to eat these kinds of foods. I need to get this kind of exercise. I want to structure my day out in this way. And so that's going to be a really big theme as we, get ingressing into Taurus season. On April 23rd, we're going to have a full moon at 4 degrees of Scorpio, which, opposes that Taurus sun. And that area of the chart is the 12th house that represents the subconscious. It also is where, our dream world is, hidden things, secrets. With the full moon here, there's a kind of a highlight on some of these themes. We could be having really powerful things from the subconscious coming up that we need to deal with, that we need to work on releasing and letting go of. There could be deep spiritual work that we feel inclined towards. Hidden resentments, hidden jealousies, or feelings of victimization could come up. And maybe this is an energy that we need to start moving away from, but we need to acknowledge it. We need to do the shadow work around it, and kind of look at anything that's repressed that's coming up for us now during this time and what needs to be released. Great time for meditation and self-care work and dream work is that full moon. And then our last big shift, well, we've got two. We've got Mercury stationing direct at 15 degrees of Aries on April 25th. So Mercury is going to start, moving back through Aries. And hopefully, whatever we were kind of working on at the beginning of April, we're feeling more confident in pushing forward. And then after that, we're going to have Venus joining the Taurus party on the 29th. And that's great for kind of focusing on your work, your daily routines, feeling really productive. Venus in Taurus is a great energy. She rules Taurus. We might be feeling like we're finally getting maybe a handle and, some tangibility around some of the things that got away from us in April. If you are thinking of kind of doing some, changes to your work life, and it feels really hard to kind of lock in April, you're going to have a better time locking that in May, when we've got more of that Taurus energy happening. And Mars is going to be entering Aries at the start of May, which is so much better than Mars in Pisces. Mars is the ruler of Aries. Where it's hitting in the chart is that self-expression area. I'm going to be talking all about that in the May horoscope. So I really am looking forward to May. And, honestly, I think for Sagittarius, we're getting off a little bit easy in April in terms of where it's hitting in the chart. It's a lot more of this internal journey than this external journey. But, we are really reflecting on how the external is expressed right now and what we want to do to kind of maybe change how we're expressing ourselves in the external. So we might be really assessing, how we put ourselves together and those things in a very intense way. If you like this video, please hit the subscribe button. If you want to book a one-on-one session with me, I am booking readings and taking on new clients. You can email me, and I'll have the email in the description box. And I wish us all, the best of luck this month as we kind of go through this big transformational period as a collective. I will see you all in May.